So I want to create a logo for my channel. My only previous experience was with making a GeoCities website back in the 90s, and so there are a lot of possibilities to do a logo. There's a lot of software you could use for making that. I could use my Adobe Photoshop, which I have a subscription for. But for this one, I'll try to make it in Inkscape, which is a free software, an open source software that you can use and download for free. So there's a lot of good tutorials on how to do this. So I'll have, of course, links to the different tutorials in the description below, so you can see what I used to do it. The main purpose is that I wanted something that I could animate in my video editing software. I'm using DaVinci Resolve, which is also, it can both be a paid but also a free version. I'm using the free version for now. I'm hoping to upgrade to the paid version at some point, but for now I'll use the free one. So you should be able to follow whatever I do and download DaVinci Resolve and Inkscape on your own. This is a very, very cheap version of doing it. And I will say this logo is going to be an initial version. It's probably not going to be the final one, but I think that's what I want to do with this channel. I sort of want you all the way through. I don't want to spend 6 months doing all the work and then show you this nice finished complete product. It will never be like that. It will be, I make some stupid mistakes, I behave like an idiot, and you see the result of that. Sometimes it's going to be excellent from the beginning, sometimes it's going to be just horrible. So I'm here to entertain you, that's why I do this. It's a lot of fun for me, being an idiot. I'm really good at it. So now we're here in Inkscape, and my idea for this logo is that I want to take a portrait photograph I took of myself some while ago, and I want to sort of outline that to make a recognizable shape of myself, to sort of make that the center of the logo. So since I have a huge ego and this channel is about me and my exploits, I wanted to put myself in center, of course. But all kidding aside, so I'll try to take a picture into this Inkscape, and then I'll make a shape outlining myself, and maybe find some identifiable features of mine to make sure that people recognize it as me. Then I want to have an overline, so I want to make sort of like graffiti fonts. So I want to make my channel name sort of a center around this, surrounding it. And then I have an idea that I want to have like the classic creator thing going into my main logo. So I want like ink splashes in the middle of it. It's maybe a little bit overused, but I think when I do the animation of it later, I can do some cool thing with these ink or paint splashes. So of course I need to think also about the animation, not just the static logo. So this is going to be my starting point. And for the color scheme, I'm just thinking simple black outline, black text, and then I'll do 3 ink splashes and in RGB, red, blue, and green, sort of just to keep up with a little bit of the theme for the channel. So this is my plan so far, but we'll see how far we get. So my first plan is to find a way to import the photograph and then start doing tracing on it. I find a nice tutorial on how to trace photos, make them into sort of logos. I'll put a link to that, of course. So if you have a similar idea, you want to do something similar like this, you can see how you're really supposed to do it instead of how I'm doing it. So let's get started and see where we go. Okay, so after bringing in the picture in Inkscape, it will be kind of difficult to do an outline on such dark pictures. So the first thing I did was bringing down the opacity just to make it a little bit easier to trace form. So I thought it would be a little bit difficult to get all the details. So I had an idea just to outline my shoulders, my head, and then I was thinking the glasses, some key features on the face, and I was thinking maybe the beards. I have this fantastic red and white beard in my national colors. Maybe I could do something there as well. But it's a little bit difficult to choose exactly what details. So I thought I would just get started from the side here and just sort of follow the outlines, and then slowly just making like a rough cut in the first pass, just to get an outline, to have an idea, and then edit it later. That's what I like about vector graphics. You can always make changes after. And you sort of need to learn this a little bit. It can be quite difficult to actually edit it, all these notes in a good way, but I think I managed really okay. So after I was done with that, it was time to do some refinement here. Clearly I'm not very good at working with notes yet. Hopefully that will come later. I used to do this quite a lot back in the day, but it's been a while, and back then it was on Corel Draw some years ago, and it's quite different compared to Inkscape. So, but I think I'm getting there. So a lot of refinement, but it clearly requires some practice. I don't have a lot of hair to take care of, but clearly I have a couple of antennas now. So after I was done with the outline, it was time to move on to the glasses. And ever since I turned 40, this is now a recognizable feature on me, together with a gray beard. So these kind of things go along. Don't ever grow up, kids. So here comes my big mistake on trying to do this logo. So I wanted to have my pride and joy, my nice beard part of it as well. Unfortunately, that turned out really bad. I look like a dime store Santa. It's yeah, that was not a hit. So clearly this is where I have some potential to grow. Note to self, vector graphicing beard is not a force of mine. So the next part was finding a font that I liked, and then trying to incorporate that in it as well. And then I wanted to convert this bitmap file into a vector. And I tried with some settings, and you can see it clearly went wrong. And so I tried to follow the tutorial. I'll link to it below. And I couldn't really make it work, but I was just sort of skimming through the tutorial, so maybe that was what the problem was. Whatever happened, unfortunately, it turned out to make my computer crash. And well, of course, I didn't save beforehand, so I needed to start back up, doing some of it again, doing the text and doing the outlines. And, so there was a little bit extra work on doing it. So remember, kids, always save before you do something like that. So after sort of recreating it again, I went back to take another step in doing the ink, and this time I actually followed the tutorial instead of just skimming it through. And then it went off without a hitch, no problem, no crashes, anything. So that meant that I could actually make these ink blobs, and I could do 3 different colors, red, green and blue, RGB. And then I'll just use the same blood to sort of rotate them a little bit to make it different, because not only am I an idiot, I'm also a lazy idiot. So that sort of gave me the finished product. And then, of course, I needed to export it to use here in Resolve, and to use some JPEGs for social media accounts and such. But that actually ended up turned out pretty well. So I'm quite happy with it. It's a good first effort, but surely there's room to improve. Okay, so this was our logo and my first video. So this was the first revision. I'm sure we'll do more and do more improvements on it later on. But for now, we have a logo, so that's great. For my next video, I will try to animate this in Resolve. So I sort of want to do a little more of an animated intro. It looks a lot better than just, you know, a static logo. So I'm going to try to do some animation in Resolve, which will be interesting. I've never done that before. It's completely new to me. So I'm going to rely again on all the nice tutorials that exist on this out there. And again, I'll have links to them in the description, so you can follow along and do the same if you want to. So, but before I leave, I really need to say thank you to all the people who are doing these tutorials and put in the hard work to helping us become better creators. I think it's fantastic that you do these videos, and we really appreciate it. So thank you very much. I look forward to seeing even more of your tutorials and trying to use them. And if you feel that your tutorial was harshly treated, I'm sorry. It's probably not because it's a bad tutorial. It's probably because I'm an idiot, because it sort of goes with the, you know, title here. So, thank you once again for watching. If you want to follow the next video with the animation of the logo, please subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button so you'll get notified as soon as I upload the video. So, thank you.